Hey Mike, I've put together for you an analysis of your situation for you to review here. So I believe you made your first payment in January of 2012, and I believe from what I'm pulled from records that your balance is right at 285. I could be off by a few. You maybe paid the principal balance down some, but I think that you have at this time a calculation here showing a principal and interest of 1516. Your taxes are this on your property on a monthly basis, and I guessed on your homeowner's insurance. So I'm bringing to you three different options to take a look at, all that I think that will save you some money. I just want to see what your thoughts are. So I'm showing a 30-year transaction at no cost, going to a 4 1/8%, and going right back out to a new amortization of 30 years. So certainly you would have a reduction in your payment, but you're going to be extending the term of the transaction. I went to a 15-year transaction, so your payment would be up about $650 on a monthly basis to $24.40. This one, what I did is I took that same 4 1/8% transaction that you did here, and I said, well, what if he makes the same payment here as he does here? What does that look like? So in other words, take your current amortization scheduled payment of 1516 and put it in here. I'm a buck off, but let's see what that does. And by the way, all these are no closing cost transactions. There's per diem interest in here a little bit, and that will impact, and in reality this will all zero out in reference to the closing cost on the transaction for any of these three options based on today's pricing. So what we have is that I think you got 27.17 years remaining on your current loan. Of course, you'd go back out to 30 years. This would be down to 25.25 years. So it saves you almost 2 years on your transaction from a payoff perspective, if you wanted to consider that. Here's the savings, still an interest savings over a 5-year period of time, by going that period, by going to a new 30-year. Here's the savings, of course, if you go to a 15-year transaction, which I think is really cool if you have the ability to do that. This one's, I think, in a 5-year time frame, you're saving almost $1,000 a month in comparison to where you're at this time by simply doing a refinance on the transaction. $500 a month, I'm sorry, $450 a month. If you do a refinance transaction right now, $450 a month, funny. So let's take the $49.92 divided by 60, so it's $83 a month savings, and just doesn't cost you anything to get that. Over the long run, over a 15-year time frame, $140,000 as opposed to $158 on your current situation. And you can see the variances here throughout. I'm going to pause for a second. So what I did is went in and made the long-term calculation over the entire 30-year term to see what the variances would be in the summation of this. So just going to a 4 1/8% transaction and no cost in comparison to where you're currently running, you've got a $35,000 savings. That's all I had for you, man. Let me know what your thoughts are.